Hi, everybody. It's May 16th, 2024, and I'm at one of my happy places, McDonald's, in Austin Heights, my neighborhood. I was thinking this morning how ironic it is that I live in Austin Heights, a neighborhood with the same name as my favorite author, Jane Austen. I've read all of her books and seen all of the movies many times over. So got up at 4 o'clock this morning with motivated to get some work done on my case at the Supreme Court of Canada, appealing the decision of the appointment of my 81-year-old nun sister 4,000 kilometers away in Ontario as the guardian of my little brother Paul Kierans, who she's only met a few times in the course of his 65 years. He was dead 26 days after the court decision of the Court of Appeal. I just got a memo on my phone saying that I'm supposed to be visiting with him. So with the agreement that I had with his group home, L'Arche, L'Arcag, they are the sex cult gangsters. They were started by two bona fide sex predators, excommunicated Catholic sex predators. But anyways, I digress. So I got up this morning at 4 o'clock, no kidding, 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I had to show proof that I had served my application for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court of Canada on all the other parties. So there's 5 other parties, L'Arche, the nun sister, the government of BC, the public guardian and trustee of BC is supposed to look out for incapable people in BC if somebody hasn't been appointed, and Paul. And so I had to prepare affidavits of service, and so I prepared 4 affidavits of service, and normally they're $50 each. But there's 2 people in my neighborhood that I get to witness my affidavits. One is a lawyer named Edmund Wu, W-U, on Austin. He's fabulous. If you have any real estate transactions, he's the guy to go to. And the other one is Notary, James Robinson, who's also just a wonderful guy. I heard back from James Robinson first, so I ran across the street and took the affidavits there, and I found out that, I hope you don't mind me saying this, James had a health emergency a couple of weeks ago, and he had a pacemaker put in, and which was very shocking, and I was really worried. He's a wonderful guy, great notary, and he's he always gives me discounts, and he's a very sweet guy, and I was very glad to see that he was on the mend. And I think what it made me think of, which I wanted to share here, is that he charged me $100 for 4 affidavits, and if I explained to him what had happened, that my brother had died, but that L'Arche had created this power of attorney, that it's called a representation agreement. It's kind of like I think it's kind of like a cheating power of attorney for disabled people, low functioning people, to give all their rights away, and that when they may not be capable or competent or have testamentary capacity. and I thought, if Larsh had taken Paul to a proper notary like James Robinson and spent $50. Well, at this point, I think the legal fees are getting close to $1 million among all the parties. Not to mention my dead brother who died alone in front of my eyes. I saw him being sedated to death in front of my eyes. Who's to say that if I had been able to be by his side, if he wouldn't have recovered? He had, he gave up. He lost the will to live. He'd hung on for 588 days and a half. But if somebody had spent $50 and taken Paul to just a notary, a plain old notary. I'm looking at about 3 of them right now across the street from where I'm sitting in McDonald's. All this pain and heartache could have been prevented. A notary, a proper notary, or a lawyer. All lawyers are notaries. And, but they witnessed it, this document that they had. They say Paul signed, and he didn't sign it. It's a forgery, but it's a fraud for lack of testamentary or lack of capacity. And so they shoved something in his face that they had created, which gave the family member in secret the farthest away. No, actually, the family members the farthest away. My sister in North Bay, Ontario, and my brother in Prague, in the Czech Republic. So somebody 4,000 kilometers away, and somebody 8,000 kilometers away. To avoid my sister, I have a sister on Vancouver Island who is an anti-vaxxer. They didn't want her to know about it. Just, the height of corruption, this is what corruption looks like. And it ended up with my poor brother dying among strangers. Evil. Anyway, so, I went to I spent all $100 of my hard-earned money, my precious little bit of money to get these 4 affidavits. So James Robinson witnessed 4 affidavits for the price of 2, which was very sweet. And so I got those. I had to get those witnessed, and then I had to scan them and file them on the electronic portal at the Supreme Court of Canada. And they're already being reviewed. I got a letter from them saying that they're reviewing them. So I feel like it was a productive morning. And then tomorrow there's another document another 2 documents that I have to file. So it's going quite fast. And considering it's me by myself against multi-billion-dollar corporations, like the biggest respondents or defendants you could imagine. Anyways, I feel that it was a productive day. Please continue to. I did book. I've got an appointment with a trauma counselor on Saturday at noon. So I booked. My family doctor recommended a trauma counselor to deal with it. I still haven't cried about Paul dying. Just somehow has sunk in, but not really. I just, can't believe. So, this was really the cruelest thing. It was really torture. That's it. That's the way. I'd like to say to David Eby, the Premier of BC, every single day I went to your office, to the office of the BC government that had my brother's file every single day, every single business day. And I dropped off a letter just asking for a meeting. That's all I wanted, was just to meet with someone at in your government to explain what was going on in this miscarriage of justice and this cruel, barbaric torture that was being inflicted on my little brother and me. Two disabled people. And you never met, nobody ever met with us. They were very proud of the fact that they didn't meet with us. And I just hope that something happens that in this, going through this court process, you get 1/1,000,000th of the suffering or the inconvenience that was inflicted on my brother and I. All we wanted to do was visit, have coffee and watch Elvis videos together. I've got like 5 cake mixes lined up in my cupboard of cakes I'm never going to make. I've got a cookie jar that's empty that I wanted to fill with cookies for Paul. This is the height of, barbaric cruelty. Like, the Roman Empire didn't sink this low. And I hope that we can change the law and bring Paul's law in Canada, where no legal guardian is ever allowed to isolate and confine an incapable adult again. I think that's what I'm focusing on. I'm trying to bring about some good out of this terrible Shakespearean tragedy where my little brother died among strangers. And I told the judge, I said, if you're going, he wouldn't let Paul have his own lawyer, and he wouldn't let Paul appear, even though I had subpoenaed Paul to court. And I said to him, if you're going to tell a man that he's going to die alone, you should at least look him in the face when you do it. And that judge never looked him in the face. And he sentenced my brother to die among strangers. Some large idiots from, tourists. Basically what they do is they hire tourists who speak English as a second language. And I was thinking the other day that as I sat outside in the hallway, I sat outside the ward for 12 hours a day, every day that Paul was sick. Either I was in court or I was sitting outside in the hallway. And they brought dogs onto that ward, dogs, and a big cackle of L'Arche employees were allowed to visit him at will, but I couldn't visit him. It was, it was sadistic. And I'm having real issues with my faith. I'm a devout, practicing Catholic, and I'm really struggling with my Catholic faith because L'Arche purports itself to be a Catholic-based organization, which it is totally not. It's no more than, than Sun Myung Moon was a Christian. It's just, they're a cult. They were started as a sex cult, and nothing good will ever come of it. And the first thing that, David Eby, that you should do is shut down that sex cult. There's no reason why they should be receiving taxpayer funds. All you're doing is you're putting our most vulnerable citizens at arm's length from the government, from accountability. Anyways, that's it for today, May 16th, 2024. And I hope we get our hearing. I hope we're granted leave to appeal and that our hearing takes place soon. I don't think they have, Supreme Court of Canada hears cases over the summer, so it won't be till the fall now. But the sooner the better. And thank you, everybody, for all your love and support. But please, don't give up on us. It's all the more important now that we never let this happen again. So please pray for us. Go to your temple, your synagogue, your gurdwara, your church, and pray for us. Contribute to our GoFundMe account. All you have to do is just click on the link, our GoFundMe link. the only money that's in there now is the money that I borrowed from Money Mart to pay the psychiatrist. And there's, I just spent $100 today on the notary. And the most important thing, and it doesn't cost a penny, and there's no excuse not to do it, please copy and paste the email that I'll put in the description box for this video and send it from your email address. They've long ago blocked my email address. So send it from your email address. Get the word out. Let's bring Paul's Law into force in Canada so that nobody ever has to suffer like this again. You know, there's just so much suffering in the world that's unavoidable. You know, people get cancer and they get horrible car accidents, and there's just so much suffering in the world that's just unavoidable. Wars and plagues and fires. And this was so preventable. This was the most horrific suffering that was so preventable. The architect of this suffering was the government of British Columbia. So let's change that. That's changeable. Let's have no more preventable suffering. So pray for us, contribute to our GoFundMe account, and copy and paste the email in the description box for this video. Take care, everybody. Paul, I miss you so much. I hope you're having fun in heaven with our brother Harry and our brother Murray and Mom and Dad and Grandpa and Grandma. I miss you so much, dear. I would be with you right now if you were still alive and if the judges had done what they should have done and what they were supposed to do. Have fun, dear.